It's the end of the festival 2026. Kim George, the chairman, the president, whatever you want to call him, is here with us, and we're going to have a little bit of a chat. We're not going to say goodbye as yet, but the goodbye might be the wave that you see, because when there's not a lot of wind and it's nice and warm and it's only February, we have March flies. Kim, sorry for the flies, but
that's okay,
welcome anyway.
Thank you very much.
Reflect. FOKI 2026?
Well, huge success, really. So in terms of the feedback we've been getting from the community, it's been really excellent. So great lineup. The musicians put on an excellent performance, both the Friday night and Saturday night. I think we had 7 acts on the Friday and 12 on the Saturday. The feedback from the community and from the bands has been that they just had a fantastic time. All the musicians want to come back and play again, and people have been asking about the festival as well.
So we could make life easy, because yes, indeed, when you look at the video that we took of them leaving, it's like, if we want to do the same lineup as for next year, this year, we don't have to do bookings, nothing. They're all ready.
Yeah, copy paste. that would save months of work. Yeah, I agree. But yeah, what we also like to do is to freshen things up, have new bands playing. So yeah, most of the time we'll be looking for a new set of bands. However, many of the bands that we've played now, we'll certainly have them in mind for future years. Absolutely.
Now, talking with musicians and even with audience, particularly with the musicians also, what they brought up is with this festival, that they were pleasantly surprised by the amazing variety of different styles of music with 19 different performers.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's one of the strengths. We try and cater for all the community. It's a community event, and so we want everyone to come along. So we start the day with sort of more the folk, the softer music, a bit of country, into the blues and the rock and the pop, and it gets a little bit heavier as the night goes on. So typically everybody has a couple of different styles that they quite like, so we're trying to cater for everyone there.
Are we King Islanders a warm, welcoming crowd?
Absolutely. Once upon a time, especially because the artists are playing, we pick artists who are playing their original music. So it's not the songs you're hearing on the radio all the time, and so it's a little bit, it's a bigger step for people to appreciate the music rather than something you've heard 20 times you like. So the musicians really like that, and even the musicians themselves, once they've played and they've had a drink afterwards, they were coming out, they were on the dance floor, they were sitting around listening to the other artists, and the feedback from them was also they just don't get that opportunity at other festivals, so they really appreciated that as well.
Now, 25, we didn't have a festival. Was the organisation, I don't want to say really, but a little bit worried, well, we missed 1 year, it's almost like restarting the whole festival again. With the support of Events Tasmania, I think it made life a lot easier. But was there a bit of a doubt that we sort of thought, well, maybe people might lose interest or? Yeah,
I was concerned by that. Also, just organisationally, for people to remember where are things, who needs to do what's the order that we need to do things. We're all sort of rethinking things through a little bit. So we lost a bit of momentum, and as you said, Events Tasmania stepped in financially and consultatively also in support. And that's been really great. So that gave us sort of more confidence to do this, because in 2025, some of the reasons we decided not to run it, which we decided early, was the mine was having problems, the dairy was having problems, Rex was having problems. So we just thought, okay, we'll just let those problems settle down before we take a further step. So we did, and it worked really well. I think the wheels are now turning again, and so I hope that we'll talk to the volunteers in the coming days, but I hope they're all keen to run a FOKI 2027.
Yeah, because a couple of people asked, because they thought, oh, not in 25. Is this now going to be 1 year on, 1 year off? And a lot of people thought that, oh, next year there's not going to be a festival.
Yeah, no, that's not the intention. 2025 was a special no-go because of the reasons I mentioned. But our intention is to run it each year, as long as the volunteers are prepared.
Yeah, and they are prepared, you think?
Well, we have that conversation, but yeah, look, some of the feedback we've had we had some new volunteers joining as well, just, so they're already planning. So I'm pretty sure the intention is yes. So we just have to set a date, and that might be another thing. We might bring the date a little bit earlier. we made it late because of didn't want to clash with the races, which so there's probably less risk of that. So we'll probably schedule in January.
Is it because I know that the organisation had to even get some charter flights for the first time in the history since it started, since 2013. Is that going to be a bigger issue, you think, even for the future, that we want to bring more people to the island? It's one of the things that we have been sponsored for, but there's no seats on planes. How do we get them here?
Yeah, that was very difficult. So even back in October, we were looking at some areas, some directions, there was only 7 seats available back in October. And so they quickly got booked out. So the charter flight experience was heavy, but probably interesting. Like all problems, it's an opportunity. So we'll probably look at, is there a way we can plan that up ahead? Because if we know that we're going to have some charter flights, then it'll be easy maybe to program the artists to all pile on. Also, we can probably then start to offer some packages for people to come along, to come on those flights. So we'll look at that, but it could be an opportunity as much of a problem.
Is it like, well, it's very early days, of course, there's a couple of days after the festival, but have you already got a bit of an insight? Was it profitable? Did we lose a lot of money? Or what are your thoughts, or it's too early?
It's a little bit early. We certainly spent a lot more than we normally would because we're invested in infrastructure and marketing thanks to Events Tasmania and Tasmanian State Growth. So their goals of those grants is to make the festival more sustainable, which means less reliance on lending and borrowing stuff, hiring gear and etc. Making things more resilient. So we've spent money on that, which is sort of, some of it's one-off costs. Marketing, of course, should be ongoing costs. In terms of numbers, I've this morning finished looking at the initial numbers indicate about a 15% increase in people attending.
Compared with 24, I guess?
Compared with 24.
Yeah.
And so that was good.
Yeah. That's quite amazing, isn't it?
Because especially with all those difficulties we had with the flights, people couldn't book, etc. So to have an increased audience was really good, and just makes us wonder what could it have been if there was more availability of seats and accommodation.
I think it's also, Kim, that because performers they play for free, and we have all those great volunteers. Because you hear so many festivals going down. Hey, and closing and finishing and whatever, but I think it's thank you to all the support and the volunteers that we get, that in a small place like this we are able to keep continuing with a Festival of King Island with 17, 18 different acts for a prize, for a ticket price, which is almost like, I don't want to say a joke, but people maybe want to realise you go to a lot of gigs out there, folks, and you pay probably that amount double to see one band.
Yeah. I think the fact that we're a volunteer organisation, it's a risk and it's a challenge for volunteers, for volunteer fatigue, etc. The ageing volunteer. But on the other hand, it does help make things a bit more sustainable. So that's why I think Events Tasmania and State Growth, with their support, we still have a few more things to do, but we can try and find ways to ease the load of the volunteers, and then it probably could give us an advantage over some of those other festivals that really suffer. I mean, we face many of the same challenges they do in terms of costs. If I look at costs, our costs are going to be more than 40% higher. Just one example, flights went from 25,000 in 2024 up to 45,000. So, very big, nearly a doubling.
So what you're almost saying is that you couldn't organise a festival for here on this island for under $100,000.
No, it's well over that now.
Yeah.
Well over. Yeah.
That's just that people that realise that, what I mean?
It was 100,000 back in 24 already, so yeah.
Yeah.
We haven't got all our bills yet, so we've still got a lot to pay. So I don't have a final view of that, but yes, certainly it's much.
Now you're off back to what is now your homeland soon again, to Belgium, to Brussels. What are you going to tell your wife when she says, "How was the festival?"
It rained. It was awful. No, she's, unfortunately she can't come, and so she couldn't be here. But I'll say, I hope to run it again, and I hope the volunteers are prepared to do it again, and hopefully she and my two sons, who have never seen the festival, can actually get here next time.
do they want to come, or
course
is
they
it
do.
like,
Yeah,
oh,
no.
do Dad the favour? All right, let's go.
No. The whole year they hear me, oh, what do you think about this band? And listen to this band. And so I drag them in already. So yeah, they'd absolutely love to be here. It just has not, time-wise with school previously and exams and stuff, just hasn't been feasible.
Final word to you, whatever you like to say.
Oh, well, first of all, just a huge thanks to all the volunteers. Like as we've talked about, there's a lot of people involved. Some of them carry a heavy load. Some of the key people organising, for example, Stacey with the setup, yourself, Wade, with all the sound crew, Ruben also in the sound crew, Wayne Woolcock with all the electricity. Huge job. You know, people probably don't realise, but there's people working for weeks beforehand and weeks afterwards, preparing the site and preparing all the equipment. Of course, all the acts who come for free, but they get a great experience. So it's, I think in one of the interviews you had, they even said, we'd pay to come back. So, but we really do appreciate it. And the fact that they come for free means already the mindset is a very positive, community orientated. They get into the spirit and that reflects in the performances they have. So I'd just like to thank the King Islanders for the support, and I hope that they want to support it more in the future.
Now, I dare to say that looking at your hoodie, it's not a wish, but it's a fact, isn't it?
Good times. So, yeah, it was a good time. I really think that a lot of people had a good time, and we've had great feedback, and it's just nice to have a big community event. I saw a lot of people reunion-wise have friends and family over as well, people catching up that were surprised that we're here because different people are coming from different areas. So yeah, good times.